host and moderator for the first half of this amazing evening, and I couldn't be more thrilled to welcome you all to React Kolkata's Hacktoberfest special meetup. For those who are joining for the first time, React Kolkata is the first ever React and JavaScript focused community from the City of Joy. Our mission is simple yet powerful: to connect developers, celebrate learning, and build together as a community that grows by lifting others. This is just not a meetup, it's a celebration of open source learning and collaboration. And what makes today's extra special, apart from being our Hacktoberfest edition, is the lineup of incredible speakers and panelists we have with us, from GitHub stars to core OSS contributors, from developers shaping the AI frontier to community leaders across India. They are all here to share their experiences, journeys, and wisdom with you. So let's get started. Before we jump into our first talk, let's hear a quick look the evening ahead. We'll start with 4 amazing speaker sessions, each one packed with real-world insights, stories, and takeaways to inspire your open source and React journey. Then we will have a short segment by our friends from React Hyderabad, one of React's newest React communities, before we move into our star-studded panel discussion moderated by Orinder Majumdar. So without any further ado, let's get this started. Our first speaker of this evening is someone who is already making webs in the open source world. Please join me in welcoming Swapnendu Banerjee, SDE at DevRel Squad, and a Google Summer of Code contributor at Kepler. He has been actively mentoring and contributing to communities since college, even as a Microsoft Learn student ambassador, proof that passion and curiosity truly fuel growth. Tonight, Swapnendu will take us behind the scenes of his open source adventure with his talk, Forks, PRs, and Dash of Chaos. Get ready for an inspiring session on collaboration, learning, and how open source goes far beyond just writing code. Swapnendu, stage is all yours.
Thank you for this amazing introduction of me. Okay, so good evening and Shubha Vijaya to everyone present here and in this meetup in this evening, in this wonderful evening. So let's start without any further ado, as Shulagnadi said. So let's start. So I'll share my screen. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Okay. Okay, so as already mentioned by Shulagnadi, that my session is a bit focused on the introduction to open source, that how a person can start the open source journey. So I'll be focusing basically on that part only, that how a person like me, a newbie like me, like noob like me can start his journey and just connect the scattered dots in the field and the map of open source and make a bit of space in this particular thing. So that's why Fox, Pierce, and Dash of Chaos, my open source journey. Small introduction. Currently, I'm engineering at DevRel Squad and was a GSOC contributor at Kepler this year. And I'm building GoAvo.ai along means in DevRel Squad. So it's again an event ops platform. Okay, so not further mention to those things. Let's jump into the thing that we are focused for today. Okay. So yeah, what is open source contribution, right? Now, like I don't want to go in a very bookish knowledge or very technical knowledge. I'll try to means try to make this session a bit simple. So as the name only mentioned, that open source contribution. So just imagine a world where there is a house, right? Now and the owner of the house has kept it open, ki like come and renovate the house as you want. You can just raise that, okay, can you see that window is not proper, so I want to make a better window. So how will you make this thing? Just the owner of the house takes a plan and says, okay, it can be implemented, and if the owner gives the go ahead, then that person implements that thing in that particular house, which is open for contribution. So as the name mentions, open source contribution, so it's all open in front of everybody. Now you can come, you can contribute and can make it better. Now here there are someone like me who comes and gives some like means before the session was getting started, there were discussion regarding the spam peers, right? Spam pull requests. So in the technical term, the contribution that I am talking about is expressed through pull requests in a GitHub repo. After solving a particular issue, we give a pull request. That means I have solved this issue. Just check. Just I'm letting the maintainer of that particular repository know that okay, I have solved this issue. This is my PR. This is my pull request. Just check it that whether it works or not. Now there will be various like useless peers. There will be various useless contributions that a maintainer will reject, and some of them, those are really helpful, those are really meaningful, that will be considered. So this is all about open source contribution. There are lots of organizations who like who are open source, like Deploy itself, where I contributed, where I started my journey as an open source contributor. They have their repository open source, so anyone can go and contribute over there. So there are various open source repositories. There are various organizations who have kept their repositories or open source, and they have various issues where you can go and just try and solve those. Just as I said, that you can connect those scattered dots, right? So that's a bit of open source contribution. Okay, so why I said my adventurous story. So yeah, okay. So why I said the adventurous story. So I'll just share a bit of story, because at the end of the day, it's all about the community and the learning, that how I started my journey, and I am trying to connect those scattered dots. So actually, when I joined my means after joining the college, I was very noob, right? Means I came from some air means I was not fully into this means I was not focused on engineering. I was trying something else, and then came to this thing. And after that, I tried to learn something. So in my last slide, I have a quotation that is very popular. I'll be going there. So the journey starts from here, that is, try to innovate, try to learn the things, try to innovate. So when I say that I am a learner, explorer, and innovator, so I try to explore, I try to learn, and I try to innovate. And at the end of the day, try to, like, when we are making some projects or when we are doing some contributions, try to think a bit out of the box, because today LLM is there to write your code, but innovation is yours. Innovation comes from the, like, from ourself, our inner self. So that's all about my journey. So that's how I started exploring open source by participating in various competitions. My journey started from social winter of code. So from there it started. So after that, I kept on participating in in various open source events that were happening in the city, and various organizations where means nowadays it's very popular, right? So from there only I started my journey, and after that I cracked GSOC this year. So that's all about my adventurous story. Now, how to start your journey. So when you are starting your journey, I'll also say the same thing that I followed. Try to master any of the technology that you love. After that, if you really try to make your position, make your place in this open source community, try to find the open again, try to find the organizations. Like Hacktoberfest is the biggest 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 event where you can start your journey actually. So just because there are various open source repositories that we don't know, but you will get to know in these events. Now if you think that okay, Hacktoberfest means it's something very big, so you can start your journey with some like winter, as I said, social winter of code. So there you will be finding various repositories where you can easily contribute. So from there you will gain the confidence, okay, so I can solve these type of issues. So when you have learned to solve those type of issues, try to contribute in Hacktoberfest. And when Hacktoberfest is done, try for Google Summer of Code, right? So for the Google Summer of Code, again, the thing is pretty easy. You just go and find the last year's organizations, all of them have their means keep their repositories open source. Go the whole year, not only for GSOC, but whole year they have some issues open for the contributors to contribute. So go over there, find the issue that suits to you, just start contributing, just solving those things. Just don't imagine that all of your peers will get merged, but if you don't start this, you have to begin. If you don't start, it won't start any day. So just break the shells, break the barriers, and start. Okay, so what an organization obviously there will be some expectation of every organization from any point of view. It's the skill that you put up, the honesty, the contributions, and the unique vision, the innovation that I am talking from the beginning. That the uniqueness should be there, because there are thousands of people who are contributing in open source. There will be hundred of peers. Then why the maintainer will PR means merge your PR? So that's where come the uniqueness. That's where come the role of the innovation. That's where comes the innovation is very, very, very important, because skill is one thing, but innovation is something else. So the amalgamation of innovation and skill makes a very good engineer. So that's all about this particular this the message of this particular slide. Okay, now there are some things that you should keep in mind before you are starting your journey as a open source contributor. That is, read before you ask. Be very curious. Okay, keep contributing. Watch previous peers, that how the peers are means how the other contributors are giving their peers, how to implement a clean code, and don't be afraid, because every organization, everyone expects a clean code. The code structuring is very important when you are contributing in open source, because your quality of code will make your PR merged among means will again make you unique among all. So that's one thing, it's very important. And again, from the previous peers you can take the inspiration, and you can implement that in your code. And again, don't be afraid, you have to break the barriers, and to shine you have to break the barriers, and you have to like go, you have to implement. That's all. Okay, so as I said in the in the beginning of my presentation, that I have a slide that jack of all trade, master of none. Actually, this is very true. Okay, so when you are like trying any technology, try to be the best. Means just keep learning, keep doing various projects. And I just want to mention one thing, that try to do something from means learn from YouTube, and just try to implement those knowledge in your project. So like when you are learning something from YouTube or from reading any documentation, okay, just implement that thing in your way. Just don't copy and paste that what have been shown in the YouTube video. Yeah, just take the concept, take the inspiration. It might be you are implementing the card in that position in the same way, but the design of the card should be yours. So that's how you innovate, that's how you grow your innovation, the skill of innovation. So, and where I'll get back to that topic only, that try to master one skill, try to master any one technology that you are working with, try to be with it. And if you master one technology, that if someone asks me on this particular field, I'll be the best person to answer. So try to be that person. So that will keep you that will increase your longevity in this particular market, in this particular industry, and again in the field of open source. Because again, the skill was the first pointer that I kept, that what the organizations expect. So that's thing. And yeah, that's all. I think I am on time. I have covered all the things within 15 minutes. Yeah. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Shopnandu, for this amazing and insightful session. I must say, whatever you have said is just not relevant for open source, but for every field, whatever thing you are do, that is relevant for each and every section. And you have raised a very good point, that we think too much before actually doing it. And this
Right.
kills everything. Just do not think much. If you are very sure about what you are doing, if you love what you are doing, just do it. Everything everyone who starts mess up. It's okay to mess up,
Correct.
it's okay to be not perfect. And perfection comes with experience, with practice. And this is actually so true, whatever thing you have said. And I think our attendees have learned the true nature of open source, that how messy the open source, or how messy anything you learn at the very first, for the first time, at the very first. So thank you for this session. If you have to the all attendees, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. He's there for you. And
I'll be replying them in the chat box. Hopefully that works.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, I think they don't have, but yes, if you have, just drop it in the comment section, and we will pick it up and ask Shopnind about it. So moving to the next talk, up next we have someone who is blending the world of AI and React in the most exciting way. Please welcome Srishti Mujumdar, a full stack developer and system engineer at Tata Consultancy Services and an organizer at GDG Shiliguri. Srishti's talk is titled React Apps That Talk Backs, Thanks AI, where she will work with us through how to bring AI-powered interactivity into our apps using tools like Gemini or OpenAI. If you have ever wondered how to make your apps a little smarter, this session is for you. Srishti, over to you.
So yeah, hey guys, is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yes.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, let me just check. Okay. Yeah. So hey guys, my name is Srishti, and I'm a system engineer at TCS and a GDG Siliguri organizer. So hey you all, I don't have a very photogenic face, so I thought Phoebe from Friends can be a good option. Okay, so just a little quick question out of nowhere: how many of you have watched Friends, or maybe a Friends fan? Maybe you can drop an emoji or a like in the chat. Okay, so we have already got some hearts right from Sujal. Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, so we've got some really great Friends fan. Okay, so thank you all. So let's move forward because I have a little time crunch. If I go and speaking a lot, because I speak a lot, the organizer will probably kill me. Okay, so so my topic is, she has already mentioned, it's about React apps that talk back, that thanks to AI. So I'm not a very hardcore ML engineer, and if I expect that, maybe most of you are not. Okay, Sulagna, you want to say something? Okay, okay, no,
No,
nothing.
no, by
Okay.
mistake.
Sure,
Sorry.
sure. So I'm not a great ML engineer, but I think most of us out there, we want to implement AI some way or the other, given the market that where AI is booming everywhere. Every other company, FANG is expecting you to implement AI or learn more about different AI models. So I believe that being a front-end developer and a full-stack developer now, so I think there are certain AI models present right now in different repositories, and different companies have also released some really open source great AI models which you can easily implement. So today I'm not going to do some hard code because I don't want to bore you all. It will be more of an interactive and a very discussion type of a session where we will be talking about how you can implement AI with three different ways, but using a very simple, easy approach in your React applications. So that's it. But I guess you all may have this big question, that why though? That why do I exactly need to implement AI in my React application? Like, why is it so very important? So I just want to ask that, if I ask all of you that why we should implement AI in our React applications, and why should we make an AI powered application, so what will be your guesses? Okay, like just thinking that, I just want to ask you that why would you exactly use AI in your applications? Maybe one or two, three answers in the chats. Maybe I would like to see them. To make my words CV tool. Okay, maybe smart personalization. Yes, that's it. Okay. chances of getting selected. Money, yes, money is very important. I make my applications because I want money to make the production faster, to hype, yes, to increase the interactivity. Definitely, great answers. Yes, you guys are really there for more engagement of people. Truly, for automation. Yes, yes, definitely. Okay, let's start. Okay. So you can see in my slide right now. So I've mentioned like static UIs and there are the AI powered UIs. What are static UIs? It's like the same experience for everyone. You can imagine the static applications that you're making right now without implementing an AI model is like the Sajid Nadiadwala's Bollywood movie. It's like Houseful, which is quite expected. The plot, same cliche dialogue, same cliche jokes and everything. So you can imagine, so you can think in a similar way that when you are also making a normal simple application in your in your resume, even probably your HR is also thinking, hey, this is same application, same expected CRUD applications and everything. But when it comes to AI powered UIs, AI powered UIs are like that bads of Bollywood with a very unexpected twist you get at the end, and something very engaging, adaptive, and very context aware, and something very new you can add in your application or in your resume. You can show that, hey, I made this AI based application which can do this and that. But today, I think what happens is most of us are very scared. We think, okay, I need a very great ML knowledge. I need to do so much. But trust me, what I'm going to show you today, it's very simple, very easy steps where you can implement very market available free AI models easily in your applications. Okay, I'll just maybe answer your questions. Okay, React Native and everything. Okay, I'll just answer your questions later. Okay. Okay, so few examples are out there like Netflix, Grammarly, and then we have Spotify. So Netflix, I guess what happens, most of us if you see that you get a very personalized suggestion based on your screening or whatever you're watching over time. We have got Grammarly. So when you are like on your app, or if you have used a Grammarly extension, so most of the time when you're writing an email, so they always suggest, okay, do you want to write this, and this? Then we've got Spotify. So on basis of the songs that you listen most often, they give you mood-based recommendations like that. Okay. So these are the tools we would be using. I won't be coding as I said much, but these are the tools I've used for my three applications that I made. One is front end, and I've used React. I've got used Flowbyte, React icons. For infrastructure, I've used for backend. I've used backend as a service for Firebase, and I've used the API models as the Gemini API SDK. Okay. I'm going to tell you first but three applications that I've made and the three different AI implementations. First is AI that understands. I hope I have hurt nobody's exes or nobody have been hurt as their exes. So this is the application called Decode My Ex. So you can imagine that you have pasted a very confusing text from your ex and let AI reveal its true sarcastic meaning behind it. So what it exactly does, it is picking out the keywords from your input and analyzing it and giving you a very controlled dynamic result. Okay, analyzing it according to the prompt that you have provided. So Gemini is only going to interpret the user intent. So this is your first application where you are AI that understand it, analyzes the given input. Next is HeartSense AI. So HeartSense AI is that friend of yours who is going to give you a little dating advice on your relationship scenario. Don't worry, it's not like your friend who has watched Ye Jawani Hai Diwani like 20 times and it's going to be and will ask you that it be like Bunny or Naina. Don't worry, it is not at all biased. It's going to give you an honest answer. So this application is AI that talks, where you are providing your scenario and AI is going to reply and telling you, okay, hey, okay, this is what has happened, this is what you can do. It is generating a content for you on the basis of the scenario provided. So, I have made it currently on a one way. You can convert it into a chat also. You can give replies, continuously make a chat. Like you can make a chatbot out of it. So what is here happening? React is you taking your use state. It is calling, doing an async API calls. Gemini is doing what? It generates fun and relatable dating advice, and your UI is either chat bubbles or a text feed like I have created. So this is AI that talks. I've created a dating advice application. Then we have got another one, that's AI that creates. Okay. So if you have images, you can definitely upload and you can generate memes out of those images. You can generate captions out of those images. So this is a difference. So earlier, those two that we had, they were only text-based inputs. Now this is an image-based inputs, like file input plus loading state for AI that generates captions or memes. For results, you will be receiving an image plus with a witty caption like that. So, without wasting any time further, I think I would like to go and show you all how the application looks. Give you a little. So, okay, you saw there were three different applications. One was AI that understands, one was AI that talks, and one was AI that generates. Three different applications of AI. But is it very complicated and those three need different ways of writing the code? No. Same way of writing the code, same implementation, but only differences is how you exactly write your prompts. So first and foremost, I hope everyone's here. What should I say? React have used React, I guess, in their projects or maybe aware about Reacts. So with this, we have to first. You need to first knowledge about your use state. So when you are giving your input on how to handle those inputs and again how to handle those outputs, then you need knowledge of async await, which again comes with the try catch, and finally knowledge. So let's start, and then a little prompting knowledge. So let me show, like, okay, I'll just show how I use the decode my X. So this is very simple. Okay, this is the X. Wait, is it visible or should I like increase the size? Should I increase the size? Like,
Yes, you can, but it's
yeah,
visible.
I'll just increase the size. I guess that would be better. Is this visible better? I guess this is a
Uh,
better way, right?
I think we can still see the PPT.
Oh, you can still. Oh, wait. Okay, okay. Wait. I'll just switch the hide names. Okay, wait. I'll just reshare. Wait. Yeah. I guess my. This is this visible?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's great. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So this is my code base. So you can see I've already made like decode my X, hard sense, and picktalk. So as I mentioned, you need the knowledge of use state. You need a little prompting knowledge and knowledge of async await, try catch block if you know. But if you don't know, I'll be explaining you a little at how exactly async await works in React. This is actually a JavaScript knowledge. So so first, as usual, you need to create some use states for your input text, your translations. I've also added a sentiment emoji. So for a sentiment emoji, and definitely your loading and error states as well. This is my system instruction. This is the prompt I was talking about. Don't worry if you don't have much of prompting skills. I have made a slide which consists of few tips and tricks which is going to help you master your prompting skills. Next is okay. So first is you have to. I created a function called handle transfer, which will be called upon creating generate. So first, you have to make it an async function. So async function is nothing. So which you this you are telling your code that hey, I am going to that this API is going to take some time to work. So please make sure that my other functionalities and other functions of my codes are still running. So this is going to make your this particular function asynchronous. So first I checked that whether my input text is there or not. If my input text is not there, so it is going to directly set an error and then return and directly go to the catch block that please paste a text from your X to translate. Once this check is done, if it's successful, then it's going to start as set is loading will be true. My loading is going to start, and I'm going to make sure that my previous errors, translations, or the sentiment emojis are clear. Now we enter our try block. Inside the try block, at first I called my model. Since I'm using a generative AI model, I'm using Gemini 2.5 Flash. I've also mentioned the system instruction, like the prompt I want. After that, once I receive This is the model. After that, I also want to mention the final prompt. So this is only the prompt that I'm giving, that okay, this is how the model has to work. I'm training the model that hey, you have to behave this way, you are like an ex decoder, like that. After that, I have to give a final prompt which is going to be using the input. So once you are giving an input, you are adding that translate this text from an x, give an input text. We take a result, we await from the model, we get the result, we text, we from the response, we trim a little, and then we are finally there. So let me show this once running the applications. Wait, I have to again stop sharing. Okay, screen share, screen share. Okay, I guess this will be better. Yeah, this is better. Okay, is my screen visible? I guess it's visible.
Yes.
Okay, I'll just show once how the applications looks like and how it's running. Okay. Okay, so the way I showed it is same across all the three. For decode your X or be it hard sense, three different applications. But as I mentioned, it's the same way. You need to have the same code, same model, and everything. Just the difference is how you writing your prompts. So like this is decode my X. I already have it present. Like I think we should take a break. So if I just ask to translate this X text, it will take some time. Meanwhile, oh, it is already there. So this is how probably your ex thought that I'm officially breaking up with you, but I'm too much of a coward to say the actual words. This way I keep you on a string for a few this way I keep you on a string for a few weeks and months, maybe date other people, and if just doesn't work out, then we just say just on a break, like that. So this is how probably how it works. Okay, since I've said I'm using Gemini SDK AI models. So sometimes for me or for many people, it may get a little overwhelming. That okay, hey, how are you understanding that? What are the syntaxes that I have to specifically mention, like here or maybe when I'm writing my Firebase config? So it's very simple. You can definitely go and check out the you should definitely go and check out the Firebase documentation. The Firebase documentation consists of all the syntaxes that you need. Like here, I directly copy pasted from here itself. Like this is like how you are going to write your Firebase config. This is how your code is going to look like. How you are going to call a code. Like this is AI model. Then how you write the function. They have also specifically provided you that you need to write an async function. So whatever models you guys will be using throughout your applications for implementing in your React, definitely check out the documentations. They will always specifically mention that what code to write, how to write the syntax and everything for different, like if you're using React or if you're using Java, they've got for Kotlin, Dart, Unity, Swift. So like that. And this is how the Firebase console looked like when since I'm using, as I mentioned, I'm using the Firebase as my infrastructure. So not as an infrastructure. So basically, if I wanted to use the Gemini SDK AI APIs, so actually I had to use it from the Firebase itself. So this is how it looks. And if you want to add more application, you just click here, add an app. You can mention whether you want an app, is it an Android or is it an iOS, and use it in a way. It's very simple, 2 to 3 steps. That's it. Okay, so this is AI that creates, as I mentioned earlier, and I think I've quite went through the code. Okay, I'm kind of a newbie in terms of SDK. So prompt mention is being sent with every call for Gemini. Yes, the prompt mention is being sent with every request API call for Gemini. Yes. Why we need Firebase? We directly use Gemini API directly. So yes, you can directly use the Gemini API. So since I used Firebase because I wanted to store the results in the application, so that's why. So yeah, you can directly use that, and it's actually much more easier also to implement. You can actually use. I think you're talking about the Gemini CLI. So yeah, you can do that way also. Okay. So this is the most important part, as I mentioned, that since it's all about mostly prompting. So here are some tips and tricks I want to mention on how you can do some prompting. So this is the first one. So first you have to define your AI's role. So you have to like first mention that hey, you are some witty sarcastic, you're a witty sarcastic AI bot, like that. So you have to mention the certain adjectives for your AI, that hey, you are this and this, like that. Second is specify the output format. Like you have to mention that okay, the output is like translate semicolon, then what you want to share, like that. After that, you have to keep it focused. Please don't give vague instructions like hey, you are just a funny AI bot, nothing like that. You need to mention the intent, the tone, and the limit. After that, you can also combine the instructions and dynamic prompts. And then it's like test, refine, and adjust. So keep changing your prompts in a way so that ultimately you get the accurate reply or the accurate output you want. So okay, I'll just show once this which I actually made. Okay, okay, just once. Yeah, screen share. I actually show this here. Okay, so this is how this is where to understand. Okay, you see in here, I have first mentioned the intent, like I mentioned, that you are a sarcastic, slightly cynical, but ultimately humanist X translator AI. This is how you are mentioning its characteristics. Second is remember the output part. I have made some space and then mention format your response clearly. Start with translation followed by this, and this. This is exactly how you want the output. Third, the intent and the tone. You have to make sure you tell us that your job is to take a seriously innocuous text message. This is your intent. And then you have to set the tone that it is a brutally honest context of an often cynical translation of what they really meant. That's it. These are only few tricks and tips that you need to mention the output. You need to mention its characteristic, use some adjectives, go on Google, search, okay, this is what I want. The Google, Gemini, ChatGPT will help you in return, like that. So yeah. Yeah, apart from that, this is all about okay. So now, as I already showed regarding Gemini, but apart from Gemini, there are some other AI models as well. You can available. You can one is a commercial APIs with free tiers. So these are not completely free. They have this free tier you can use. You can use the OpenAI models, Anthropic models, Perplexity AI models. Then we've got some actually free and open source models. These are completely free of cost. You can use them as much as you want. You've got a Meta Llama 3 series, Mistral AI models, DeepSeek models, Google Gemma. Then we've got platforms and APIs for multiple models. So these particular platforms consist of many previously made models by several other developers around the globe. So if you want, you can go check out these websites and find the exact model that you want. So, very three easy steps as I mentioned. Start simple, chat, search, or caption. The three ways: AI that talks, AI that understands, and AI that generates. Use APIs, not complex ML models, direct AI implementations. React makes AI integrations really easy. True fact. So that's it. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can drop in the chat because I guess your organizers will probably kill me if I go any further. And I hope I have not gone back through time. And you can just scan the QR if you want to follow and connect me more. So, yeah, thank you guys.
Okay, thank you, Srishti. Thanks a lot for your session and for this fascinating hands-on introduction to AI-powered React application. Anybody who has any question can put your message in the chat box. We are a bit lagging time, so I'm quickly proceeding to our next talk, which is very another interesting talk. We have one of the most experienced minds with us tonight. Please welcome Aparajita Verma, front-end architect at MyCom and a technical evangelist with over 16 years of experience building modern user-focused application. Aparajita's talk, The Evolution of React's Rendering from Reconciliation to Concurrency to Server Components, is going to take us through architecture journey of React itself. Aparajita, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Can you reset the timer so that I have eye on it?
Yes, yes. Sure.
I do not want to exceed the time. Yeah. Before I start, is my screen visible to you all? Is my screen visible? Can anybody?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, thanks for the introduction. And I am going to briefly introduce myself. I'm Prajata Verma, and the Diwali celebration is already going on at my neighborhood. I have around 16 years of experience, and I started my journey as a technical evangelist and then moved to hardcore development. And I have been doing meetups and conferences again a lot for the last few months. And the topic that I choose today is the evolution of React rendering. It's because it's kind of like I grew up with React, so I have seen the phases that it has gone through. And very tightly little node it has become from where I started and from where it is now. So I just wanted to share with the community. And while I do so, I should tell you one thing. I'm quite framework agnostic because I'm a technical architect. I'm a front-end architect. I cannot have bias about a particular framework, but I have a slight little bit of bias toward React. I really like it because it gives you so much power. And while I'm giving this talk, you will probably understand why, because it is evolving with us. So it's not like that, oh, a library has been defined, the algorithm has been defined, and this is it. We are resistant to change. You will see that through the slide that how it is able to embrace the changes which was required. So just like any other story, any other saga, once upon a time, React was introduced in 2013 as an open source to the whole developer community. I started working in 2009. So I was working in other frameworks, other JavaScript libraries, and I shall not take the names because it's a React meetup, but React was being developed from 2010 onward by Facebook, and it was made open source like for the community in 2013, and immediately it was a big hit. And one of the biggest reason behind the big hit was, everybody know, the virtual DOM, right? As soon as the virtual DOM was introduced as a concept, which means that we do not have to directly go and manipulate the DOM, which is the most expensive part of the rendering of your UI application. We were able to see that how React is going to place itself in the whole front-end development ecosystem. Now, one thing is very important to know and understand is that even though it came up with a concept of virtual DOM, there was a diffing algorithm which was working in place, which was comparing with the actual DOM. It was synchronous. It was recursive in rendering. So it was always constantly blocking UI whenever there was a complex UI in picture. The algorithm or the DSA, which was inside the React architecture, was actually a stack, which is blocking in nature. And it has only one phase, which is render and commit together. So what was happening that whenever there was a large application and whenever there was large amount of rendering, maybe I consider a table which has hundreds of rows, which was getting rendered, it was actually giving a little jarring kind of experience to the user. I have added an analogy. It's like that you consider that, you go to a restaurant and your chef cooks entire meal before serving. So you do not get an appetizer, you do not get water, nothing. You get entire meal only after the chef has cooked it for you. Now, then came in 2017, the React Fiber internal rewrite. This is something which happened internally. So a lot of us do not know. All we know is that oh, they introduced hooks for us. But internally, they changed their algorithm. And it was a big step toward what we have today. So I have written a few points here which might raise some eyebrows. I'm saying that it is asynchronous and it allows us to do incremental render. Now, React Fiber gives an engine through which you can do asynchronous, but in 2017, you were still doing it in a synchronous manner. So the rendering was happening asynchronously, but the commit was still happening in the asynchronous manner. So now, instead of considering virtual DOM as our base, we were considering a fiber tree where each component is considered as a unit of work. Here, instead of having a stack, which is a blocking kind of algorithm, now we have linked list kind of implementation. I'm saying it in a simplest possible term. If you want to nerd out about it, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I can explain you what is the algorithm which is written inside it. Now, because of this, that we do not have individual DOM elements. We are working with units of work. We are started to see the difference that now the rendering does not get blocked. We are able to see that the rendering, it is a path toward asynchronous. Like we will be able to see that now if there are blocking kind of UI rendering happening, user can still use it. Now this you can consider is like that there are multiple chefs and they can pause and resume task under one head chef. So the head chef is not cooking the whole meal for you now. Instead of that, he is delegating work to different chefs and he can pause and resume based upon the situation. So this got a little better, not little better. This got a lot better. Now the next step came in 2022 when we started talking about concurrent rendering. Now the concurrent rendering is the cream of the cake. Because of concurrent rendering, React can work on multiple rendered trees in one go. You can consider in this way, see, the concept of virtual DOM is still there. The concept of fiber tree is still there. It's just that we are building on top of it to make it more and more robust. Now, you can consider that we still have same fiber tree, but the rendering is happening in parallel or deferred way through priority. React get to decide the priority. Like if you are rendering a big list and somebody is typing, the priority is going to be given to typing of the user instead of rendering of the list. You can consider it like this, that now there is a scheduler which has been introduced, which defines different lanes. It still have two-phase model, but scheduling is controlled by the React. Now here you can consider that you have a kitchen. Again, there is a chief chef who is delegating work to different chefs to prepare a meal for you. But if somebody is dying because of thirst, he will interrupt all the other work and maybe create a lemonade and give it to the user instead of making it sure that everything is done. First of all the dishes are done and then only it will be given to the user. Now currently we are in SSR or server components. I am seeing the questions which are coming in the chat and it's very interesting to see. So SSR or server-side rendering, or when the place where you are not creating your whole UI at the browser or the JavaScript side, but you are doing a bit of it to the server side also. So somebody asked that is it better? Like, is React or Next is better? Which brings me back to my initial phase of my job, where I was actually creating server-side components. I was writing codes in JSP servlets. Have you guys even heard of it? I don't know. JSP servlet, JSF applet, Swing. Everything was written in Java, and we were actually rendering the whole, and we were actually generating the whole component at the Java side, server side, and rendering it at the UI. Now, server-side rendering is not replacement of client-side rendering. So never consider that it's not if this or that. It's not apple-to-apple comparison. It's not React or Next. It's the combination of both of these two. So it brings me back to the point where we're actually doing server-side rendering because it is efficient, believe it or not. So what it does is it split the render logic between server, which is a non-interactive logics, will go to the server and the client will have the interactive logic. Now React server components will stream HTML, will have component payloads to the client. Now we have two trees. We have server tree and then we have a client fiber tree. So you see, virtual DOM is still there. The fiber is still there. Concurrency is still there. And now on top of that, we have server-side components. Now what it does to you, that it fastens the initial load and it makes the smaller bundle. This is not one solution fit all. This is not going to be like this. As an architect, I'm telling you this. This is not going to be like this, that at every enterprise application, I'm going to choose this. It depends upon the application type, that whether I'll be using SSR or not. But you can see how it is evolving while we are finding different issues. Now, here then Diwali is on full swing at my place. Now here I can build up the analogy like that you can consider the half the cooking is done at the central kitchen and the half is going to be done at the table of the client. So some of it is done at the server and some of it is going to be done at the client. This is the conceptual summary of what I have just explained. Again, 15 minutes is a very small time to, nerd about something that you have been doing for like so long. Anybody who wants to have a practical example of it, anybody who wants to discuss it further, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I will be more than happy to work with you guys. But the summary is like this. In 2013, we simply solved how to update efficiently virtual DOM. Then came 2016, where Fiber was introduced, which solved how to schedule update incrementally. Then concurrency solved how to prioritize and orchestrate your update. And then we have SSR, which has solved how to reduce client-side burden by pre-rendering and streaming. Oh, I have never spoken so fast. Now I'm in the last phase of my presentation, and I always have some quiz. This quiz does not have an actual real answer, but I just want you to, so I just want to know that whether you understood what I was trying to say or not. So let's just see whether you will be able to answer this quiz or not. Please feel free to answer it in the chat. So React Fiber in 2017 was basically React telling the virtual DOM what? It was telling that you are too slow, I'm hiring a scheduler. We need to take a break, literally. I need to pause rendering, or it simply says that hooks will replace you someday. So better buck up. What do you think is the right answer? Anybody can unmute themselves. By the way, there is no right answer here. It's just B. I will say that when Fiber was introduced, it was the biggest challenge that React was facing at that time was that it was not able to break and pause rendering and build the framework through which it can do concurrency. This is the second question. The server components are basically React saying what? Why make the browser lift heavy weight when servers at the gym? Hydration, nah, I'm pre-cooking your UI now. Fiber, you can handle the UI. I will prep the data back in the kitchen. What do you think?
C.
Perfect. Though, frankly speaking, A and B is also fine, but the most apt answer is C, that Fiber will take care of the UI and server-side rendering server component is going to take care of data in the back. And this is the last. How many of you guys, I don't know, I think I'm talking to a whole generation of Gen Z. So do you guys even remember when React had classes instead of functional hooks? How many of you were
Yes,
using?
I do. I was reading through this history of React, so I know.
Perfect. So when React introduced hooks, what were it really trying to say to class component? It's not you, it's your this keyword that you keep on referring everywhere. We need to see other programming paradigm, or you are too committed. I need something more functional. It's JavaScript. So what do you think?
It's C. Easily the C part.
Actually, frankly speaking, all three are correct, but more important is that you are writing
The
your
fixation
code.
of this result.
Oh my God. I can rant about it. Sulagna, I can rant about that for next 1 hour if I given a choice. But for the interest of time, I hope I'm able to answer some of your question. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn link. I will be speaking in React India as a remote speaker on 15th of October. So if it's free of cost, you can go and join it. And I'll be speaking in a couple of GBG also, most likely will come to Calcutta. I'm looking forward to that. So I hope to meet you guys very soon. And I hope that you guys learned something today, and I'll meet you again. And thank you so much for React Kolkata for organizing such amazing event. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Aparajita. It was actually a React masterclass, I must say. And congratulations on React India and other conferences. So if you have any question, you can share it in the chat or directly reach to her. We are moving next to our next talk. It wouldn't be a Hacktoberfest event without talking about open source contribution. So next speaker is Priyankar Pal, a backend engineer, a maintainer at React Kolkata and ReactPlay, and someone who has been deeply involved in open source ecosystem for years. His talk is how to make contributions effectively, a beginner's guide for Hacktoberfest. He will help you understand how to go beyond just raising PRs and actually make an impact as a contributor. Priyankar, take it away.
Hi everyone. I'm Priyankar Pal. I'm the maintainer of React Kolkata and React Play community. So, and also worked as a software engineer intern at few startups. So today we're going to talk about how to contribute effectively and meaningfully to any repository, open source repository, especially not only in Hacktoberfest or any kind of time. So yeah, I will teach you, that way. It's a practical way I'm gonna share with you. So let's get started. Let me share my screen first. Uh, can we share my screen here? I guess, yeah.
Yes.
So before going to start, why contribute? I mean, why do we need to contribute to open source? I mean, why? So do you have any, idea why do we need to contribute? You can just, unmute yourself and you can just tell me. Okay. So contributing in open source is not just about getting that t-shirt or getting that digital badges just for Hacktoberfest. It's about learning from real world projects, learning from experienced engineers, developers around the world. You get to collaborate with them, you learn from them, you share with them. So and so before gonna start the practical way how to contribute effectively, just learn about open source basic. Always remember that open source is always a teamwork. If without teamwork you can't do anything in open source. You have to contribute good way with your team so that maintainer won't flag your peer or issues. So let's you might thinking that open source sounds good. You see GitHub issues, peers, branches, lots of things. But this is not a thing. This is a normal thing. We have been all there. First, let's talk about the finding the right project. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen about React Kolkata event. Hold on. Like, uh, screen. Can you see my screen? Anyone can see my screen?
No.
Okay, just a second. I guess there is some issue there. Okay, so before going to practical, let's talk about how to find the project right way. So suppose you know Java or JavaScript or even any kind of language. So first go to GitHub and browse, browse you know that language that way. Suppose you know JavaScript, find the repository that has JavaScript related code, or find the issue that labeled as good first issue, help wanted, or even beginner friendly. That way you can find the right issues or beginner friendly repository at first. You are just a beginner right now. You don't need to contribute a whole complex way to that maintainer find it very complex. So let's take it practical that how to contribute effectively to our Kolkata repository. So I'm gonna show you practically how to create issues, how to find the bugs from code base, and I'm not gonna show you that how to fix typo or fixing any readme.md file. I'm gonna show you how to find the right bug and how to open PR and open issue. So yeah, let's get started. Can you see my React Kolkata repository? Yes, just see it.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh, is it visible?
Yep.
Okay. So here is the thing. This is the whole code base. Even you can check our React Kolkata, website here. It's taking too much time to load. Just wait. So here is the React Kolkata website. You can see that. So here's the catch. Before the event, I found a bug that has in the blog page. Here you can see there is a container that image is showing, but the logic is so complex. I have to make it simple, and that's why I have to contribute. Way. So this is the whole React Kolkata repository you can see. So in the component section, you can go to common and go to the blog section. You'll see that block part, block list, and block model. In the block model, code base, here is the issue. You can check it that we are showing. Just hold on. There's a cover image code base. You can see code block. This is it. So it is the complex code that has block cover image URL that has two things. It's so confusing. Just we need to make it so simple that it render the container, and if the container is not available, then it can render the fallback image because we already have. So we have to how to create that issue. Just check the GitHub issue section. If there is any issue related this, just don't open that issue. Just check the issue if this is existing already available or not. If there is no similar issue, just create one. Create a new issue. Just report a bug and give a title that simplify. Just fix the block model logic. Now it's complex. And always read the contributing guidelines and read me whenever you start contributing to any repository. And now I have to describe the bug that what I have found in the bug. So the blog model and just raise the issue, or you can just paste the code base, code block you can say, so that maintainer of the repository can easily understand what is the problem or what is the bug, so that they can understand easily. You can add a desktop or mobile things. So I'm using a Linux, so you can just mention anything Linux or browser Brave. Uh, and you can attach some screenshot or screen recording if you have, or if you add it. So for now, I'm not gonna add any screenshots or screen share. And yeah, I agree to always check this box. I agree to follow this contributing code of conduct and create the issue. So when a maintainer checks the the issue, he or she will always check what is the problem, and always verify is this true or not. Suppose as a user, I raise that issue, or even now React Kolkata maintainer will check that, and they will assign me. If they will assign me, then I will definitely gonna do or raise a peer. If they are not gonna assign me, I'm not gonna raise that peer. So always follow that rule. This and another thing, always remember that in open source, first come first serve is the rule you should remember, that when someone asks for that I'm ready to fix this issue, or I'm available to work on this issue. If the first person is you know commenting that in particular issue, they don't comment on the another particular issue, so that it don't create any mess. Suppose I created that issue as a maintainer. I'm gonna also share that how to fix that issue. So go to VS Code. Can you see my VS Code? Uh, if yes, please.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So here is the code base. You can check that I already previously mentioned in the browser that this is the code base. So let's fix it, and how to create the good peer, or with good naming commit message, how to fix this. So that creates. Always check the contributing guidelines, that how to run and how to start that project. So we already have contributing guidelines, and the README file. So please refer the README file and contributing guidelines. We already have. Here is the contributing guidelines. Here we already mentioned every single thing. You can check. And we are using PNPM for our repository, not NPM. So I'm gonna use PNPM run start, so that it start my code. Sorry, I forgot the intro. Let's fix first. So this so is the thing that I have to fix that bug. Is the power image block code block that I previously mentioned. It's default. Okay, it's good. Yeah, so fixed it. Fix that uh, code block, and now I'm ready to open raise a peer. So whenever you ready to peer, just add a commit message, add a good commit message, especially that what you have fixed, what you fixed previously. Even when you're creating the branch, fix the add the name of the branch that has issue number. For me, it is I use 82. This is my issue number. So I'm gonna create a branch within this name. And so yeah, it's checking the linting is linked, and after finishing this task, right. Always add a good commit message so that maintainer can check it easily. Is the issue. I don't know why I'm getting that issue right now. Oh, I guess right now it's okay, but I don't know. So yeah, let's create a good fear, but I don't know why I'm getting that maybe
Uh,
uh, I
can you
need
just
to add
search for
the
that file?
what?
I think this cover image error is not there. You haven't used that in
Yeah,
your site.
just comment out that thing. Just wait. Just a second. For now, I'm just adding a test command so that I can create a peer. Okay. I know I'm getting an error, another error. Wow. I don't know why I'm getting an error, but let's talk broadly that you have to add a good message, and you have to add good commit message so that maintainer can understand easily and raise the peer. Obviously, that's it. And let's talk about some issue or some that mistakes that people always do. Don't spam peers or don't get unnecessary responses or unnecessary discussion that we already have. I'm gonna show you that. With in this section we have few issues that people already created or asked lots of time that I'm gonna work this thing. So I created an issue that code team section, block section, and I have assigned to someone, but some people always added a comment that, hey, Priyanka, if there is contributor is inactive, any reason, can I solve this thing? If the contributor is inactive for more, 7 days, you can always do, but whenever it's 2 or 3 days, just don't ask or this kind of thing that can harm any, open source reputation or anything. Yeah, and last one thing I'm gonna share with you that we have a good contributors. that they contributed to our, React Kolkata website. You can just check it. There is a contributors list. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So here are the contributors. Thanks to them that who contributed to our repository, especially Badal Jain, who contributed a lot to our repository, even is the founder of a company, a voicing company. Yeah, that's from my end. And thanks for you guys joining for our events. Thanks.
Thank you, Priyankar, for this hands-on experience and practical things. I have pinged the React Kolkata's GitHub repository in the chat section. So if anyone wants to come and contribute and wants to have the experience, please feel free to do that. And we are moving forward. And before we head into our much awaited panel discussion, we have something special. Open source is all about collaboration beyond boundaries. And today we have an example of that right here. Please join me in welcoming our amazing community partner, React Hyderabad. React Hyderabad is one of the newest React communities in India, and they have already started building an incredible momentum. We are thrilled to have the core members, Slok Srivastava and Divyansh. Slok and Divyansh, over to you.
Thanks, Sulagna. I hope I'm audible. I will just share my screen really quick.
Yes.
I think we are waiting for Divyansh to join. Sorry, I think it will take just a minute.
Yeah, I have joined.
Hey, Divyansh.
Hi. Please let me know once my screen is visible to you all. Just any of you can just confirm.
It's not visible yet.
Is it visible?
No, it's not. Yeah, it's visible.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so hi everyone. So my name is Divyansh Gupta, and currently I'm working as technical architect in Naukri.com. And it's been around 11 years that I've been working in React front-end technologies, be it Angular, Next.js, React, Vue, or other technologies. I mean, JavaScript is my love, and that is something that basically encourages me to go into that. And along with that, I'm a tech speaker as well. So I used to go to conferences and speak on technology. And one of the organizer at React Hyderabad team. And firstly, I mean, I'm really thankful to the React Kolkata team for having us here and giving us this opportunity to introduce React Hyderabad to the external community. And it's truly amazing to be part of such a meetup. I mean, the kind of talks, the energy, I mean, is truly fantastic. I mean, the topic coverage and everything. And it reminds me that, I mean, we are a part of such big common community. So I'm really thankful to the whole team, Sulagna, Tapas, and the whole React Kolkata team for giving us this opportunity to introduce React Hyderabad. Okay, so about the React Hyderabad community, it's a community for developers and for the developers and by developers. So our main aim is to create a common, open, collaborative workspace where people can come together and grow as developers. And it would be covering React front-end technologies, covering each and every topic, be it AI or any other web technology or web practices, right? A common workspace to learn where people can learn, share, and grow together as a community, right? And what you can expect from this community that we would be hosting such regular meetups and hosting such hands-on experience workshops or hackathons or contest, and along with that we would be hosting many such knowledge sharing sessions, or maybe sharing such blogs, or providing a common platform where people can learn something, share their knowledge along with the peer developers and grow together, right? So yeah, I have already spoken about me, and again a big thank you to the React Kolkata team for having us here. You can connect with me over my LinkedIn handle and you can scan it, and feel free to connect and discuss anything about front end or anything about the React or any other web technology. And I have with me, Shlok, another founder with me. So over to you, Shlok. You can take it further from here. So thank you.
I think, am I audible?
Yes, you
Yes.
are.
Okay, great. Sorry, I think I dropped back at the starting. I hope my screen is visible. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. So again, thanks to the React Kolkata team for giving us this opportunity to introduce our meetup group here. My name is Shok Srivastav. I am a senior software engineer at Accenture. Now, I have been part of the community for I think almost 3 years now. I have been going to meetups and events. And what I realized is there's a lot of learning and there's a lot of knowledge that is being shared that sometimes may not be possible to learn just within your usual work. So I believe community is a very powerful resource, and everybody should join a community. Now, I have lived most of the time in Hyderabad, and I think in Hyderabad we have a lot of communities, and you for every technology you name it, we have a community. But for React, there was this missing piece where we could not have the React specific and React dedicated community. So here we are. I mean, React Hyderabad, we have started some very important details that about React Hyderabad. We are going to have our first meetup on 23rd November this year. It will be an in-person meetup, and we will have talks, we will have code demos, and you will get a chance to network, and there will be a lot of stuff. There will be a lot of fun. I'll just not reveal everything right now. I'll just leave it to the in-person event. And this will be our first meetup, and there will be a lot many meetups that will follow. Um, if you want to join us, we have opened up the volunteer applications and the call for proposals. Each of them will be open until 31st of October. We will also post it on our social media, so you can either take a screenshot or just wait for some time, and we'll post it on our LinkedIn, our Twitter, so you can click on the link and fill in the applications, and it will be lovely to have you all. Yeah, that's all. And again, thanks again for Sulagna, Tapas, and the whole team of React Kolkata to give us the chance to, come here and talk about us and, introduce us to the community. And this has been an amazing experience. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, both Shlok and Divyansh, for being an amazing community partner and throughout the journey of this Hacktoberfest special event and collaborating with us and making this event a bigger and better one. We are very proud to have you as our community partner. And now it's time for what we have all been waiting for, our Hacktoberfest special panel discussion. We have an absolutely legendary lineup tonight: GitHub stars, open source core contributors, GSOC mentors, community leaders who are shaping the developer landscape. Moderating this exciting panel is by Arindam Majumdar, one of the driving force behind React Kolkata. Arindam, over to you, and everybody get ready for some real mind expanding conversation.
Yes. So am I audible, folks?
Yes. Very much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it is the time for the much awaited Hacktoberfest related and open source in general panel discussion. So yeah, before we start, I am Arindam. I will be the host for this panel discussion, and I have Tapas with me, and Star started the panel, and I will introduce them shortly. So we already have talked about a bit about open source, Hacktoberfest in general, but those who missed that part, let me just quickly share about Hacktoberfest. It's a month-long global event that runs every October, and it started around 2014, and it is mainly to encourage developers to start contributing to open source. And it has been a great event for every new contributors to start contributing to open source. So we'll discuss about open source, what things you should do, what you not, and some hot takes as well. So if you're also watching from YouTube, LinkedIn, or anywhere else, do share your feedbacks. Will tag us, and we'll always love to see your feedbacks, your questions as that. So before we dive in, let's meet our amazing panelists who make this open source culture more lively. So I would like to introduce all of our panelists. Can we have them? Yeah, just yeah. So you can start introducing. So first, let me bring them up. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So first we can start introducing with Ronit. Ronit, can you just introduce yourself and a bit about your starting point as an open source contributor to a maintainer, or your journey towards open source?
Sure. Hi, team. Hi, everyone. It's actually my pleasure to be in the panel discussion for React Kolkata. This might be the first talk or maybe a discussion in general for me at React Kolkata. This is the first time we are actually interacting, so I'm very excited. I've been seeing the workshop which was happening like few minutes back. It was really insightful. Yeah. So given that I have like open source background. I won't bore much. So it's I have been a mentor at Google Summer of Code since last 2 years. I've been a contributor as well 2 years back, and also I have been a core contributor at CNCF and LFX. Being a CNCF ambassador, if you know, we have another ambassador here regionally, Ritik, who is being an organizer at Cloud Native Hubli jointly. And yeah, I've professionally, I'm a DevOps engineer at Keysight Technologies. I'm in the R&D team. So I think yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to blah blah blah. Yeah.
Awesome. That was a lovely introduction, Ronit. And next up on my screen, I'm going with Swastik. So Swastik, a lot of folks already have seen Swastik in the open source community. It's really, much familiar face. I would, love you if you can, introduce yourself and a bit about your open source starting point.
Okay, hey folks, so I'm Swastik Verma, and I'm open source developer at Lambdas, where I contribute to Selenium, Appian, and WebDriver.io. In my free time, I contribute to the reprogramming language, which was my first project that I started in Hacktoberfest 2019. Currently, I am also the volunteer for FOSS United Delhi and the first governing board members for the FOSS United Foundation. Now, I am also the maintainer for the Tudo group and OSPO initiative by LFX, and also helping as a committee co-chair for a new working group there known as Open Source in Business. It's nice meeting everyone here.
Awesome, lovely. Next on my screen, I have Gunj. So feel free to introduce yourself and you can share your journey, how you got into open source.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, React Kolkata, for first of all for having me on this day. I'm Gun Joshi, and I've been an open source contributor since the last couple of years. I started my open source journey maybe around 2 years back. Initially, my mind watered with thinking about Google Summer of Code. So that was the point where I started. I contributed to it, been a mentee last year, became a mentor for this year. Most of the time, I contribute to Standard Lib. Along with that, I have also been a mentor and a contributor to IIT Bhilai's open source program, if anyone has heard of it. Apart from these things, most recently, I have also worked with QuantSite as an open source intern. And apart from that, I have also worked with a bit of quantum research with IBM. Along with all this, I am always excited to share my contributions and what I'm working on in some of the global conferences and summits, such as FOSS Asia, JS Nation, and FOSS United. As I think Swastik mentioned, he also, along with that, I'm really looking forward to having this great panel discussion today. And over to you, Arindam. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks. Next up, we have Santosh, who I just especially want to mention. He's a GDE, and you can ask anything about Angular to him. He's really great. I love his content all over the socials. He has YouTuber. He create amazing content. So yeah, I will not take much time. Santosh, over to you. Feel free to introduce yourself and share a bit about your open source journey.
Sorry, I'm in train right now, so probably you might not hear me properly. Can you?
Yes,
Yes,
we can. We can hear you properly.
So, sorry, I have to switch off my camera because of the internet issue. Otherwise, yeah, excited to be here. I mean, when the boss comes to you and says, "Hey, you have to join this panel." Of course, you can never say no. Otherwise, he will kill me, right? Like so. Just kidding. But yeah, happy to be here. And excited to be part of this panel discussion. So many familiar faces, Tapas, Sarindam, Kostik. So let's see. I mean, yeah, about my open source journey, nothing exciting. I mean, I've been doing, I started doing this in 2019. Yeah, part of multiple communities. But if you have anything that you want to talk about, of course, reach out to me. We can discuss. You probably have all my credentials or all my social media handles. So I will not take much time because of this internet issue. But yeah.
Awesome. So last but not the least, Tapas sir, I would love if you can share your open source journey, because since we all are sharing ours.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining this episode of React Kolkata Meetup. I think today actually we broke all the record of last two, so it feels really great. So coming to this panel discussion, yeah, I'm very excited to learn from each of you. And while sharing mine, frankly speaking, when I started open source contribution, I didn't even know like that is called open source. It was more about a customer facing an issue, and he told me like that is a library that where what we consumed. If we get that patch in next couple of days, it will be great. When I went back to that project maintainer, he told it will take 6 months. Of course, there are other priority items on their queue. So I felt, it is there. Why not fix it? So I fixed it. I raised a peer. They accepted it, and we got it. We got the build and basically given to customer. Customer was happy. And later I realized, okay, this is called open source because the source was open for anyone to look into, and I just jumped into and fix it, and that's how it happened basically. And then I continued for several years, and probably for last 4 to 5 years, 3 to 4 years, I've been maintaining and managing open source community and the project called ReactPlay, very close to my heart. And now there is React Kolkata also. So there are a bunch of good projects. If you guys want to check out anybody, yeah, please do that. Yeah. So that's pretty much about me and my starting point.
Awesome. So yeah, let's start with a light discussion, or we can heat things up as we move forward. So yeah, we all start with this kind of definition, and there is a misconception that I have seen while talking about open source is often folks just think that okay, the source code is public, so we can just use it, and of course you can use it, but it's not free code. So there is a term, everyone thinks that okay, open source is equals to free code, but that's not the case, right? So I just wanted to bring this up, and I would love to know what is open source according to you. You can share your point of view, what you think about open source. So I will start with Gunj, as I'm seeing him in the left side first. So yeah, over to you, Gunj.
Yeah, in terms of, as you mentioned, open source being misled as free code, it is obviously free code. But what I think is, apart from being free, it is the most high quality and high standardized code that you can find. Because if there's a corporate setting and if there's some code is closed source, there are only a bunch of people working on it. But if it is an open source code, there's a whole lot of contributors from all over the world which are trying to improve that particular code base on a daily basis. And taking into consideration the opinions of the community, which is a really great thing. Because if I'm using a particular thing, suppose I'm using a particular library and I'm no one of that particular organization. So if it's closed source, no one would particularly hear my thoughts unless it is an open source code. That's what open source gives you the freedom. If you are no one, still they'll hear you. Even you as a contributor, no matter what's your age or background, you can start contributing to it and try to mold it in terms of how other people will find it useful. And that's what differentiates it from free or disregarded code to most important and a kind of code structure that is the backbone of most of the industry.
Awesome. Totally agree with you. Next up, I would love to know from Swastik.
I think a lot of it's kind of technical. So the repos are public, but you can't freely use the code because of the licenses. Because there's a lot of licenses which state that you can't use it for your own purposes, but you can't use it for your enterprise purposes, and that's where a lot of controversies happen from there. Because if you're using for a license purposes at a corporate, you need to buy a license. They explicitly state that, but still it happens. So we must not really do that. I guess, and I think my 1 second. Yes, and also my company is taking part in Hacktoberfest this year.
Awesome.
Let
Yeah.
me-
Yeah, you can share the link in the chat. That should be good.
And my company is taking part in the Hacktoberfest, so we are contributing to Celium and Appium. We will help you to assist make those PRs in Appium Celium this year.
Awesome. Next up, I would love to know from Ronit your experience on this topic.
Actually, like I totally resonate with what the earlier speaker said. Like, yeah, it's not free. Even if it's like publicly available, it's not totally free. It's like it comes with like some part of licenses. If like you are using the same thing on a corporate setting, then you need to have those licenses sorted. Otherwise, it would create a huge problem for you. Or else there might be certain libraries which we just unknowingly use, like while using some like uh, tool which is actually like not open source. So that might be a case which we unknowingly do. But if we are doing it knowingly, then we should definitely get license sorted. So apart from that, yeah, but the code is free, like publicly available. Yeah, that's what I think Gunj and Soslik said. The same thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Santosh, you want to add anything to it? If you can speak.
Sorry. Yeah. Uh, Free. Yeah, I mean, this is the word we have, the word which screwed up the open source, right? I mean, we keep saying free, free, free. So everyone said, okay, it's free. So I would not say it's free. Of course, it's made by a lot of people who gave their free time, right? That's free because that was their free time, but they, unfortunately, as Swastik mentioned, right, sponsorship, which is hard part of the open source. People are contributing with their free time, expecting something, and what they get is someone asking them when this bug will be fixed. So yeah, I hope we saw more people, more and more people stop using this word when it comes to open source. Yeah, that's my thought. I know it's not related to the question, but just wanted to share.
Cool. Yeah, Tapas, you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, sure. I think I won't repeat what everyone said. So in general, we have to understand that when you talk about open source, it's the source code we're talking about, right? That's kind of open to view, open to enhance, open to fix, it's open to everything. But when it comes to distribute, it's not that open, right? That's why Sastik mentioned about the licensing and everything. And the last point that I want to mention is like that the freedom also brings responsibility. So it is not, field of irresponsible folks, though it happens, and that's why the moderator comes into picture. They tackle a lot of all these nonsenses and everything, right? They always be on top of it. So the term that, as Santosh was saying, is like the free is kind of miscommunicated or misunderstood by people, and that brings a lot of irresponsibility, in the entire ecosystem. So we should not get it as a free. It's the source code is free for you to contribute and everything, but there is definitely certain ground rule. There are certain things that you have to maintain and manage while distributing it and even while contributing it.
Awesome. So since we already had a lot of mentions about licensing, so just a quick point of view, I would love to know. So, most of the times whenever we start a project, we by default go to MIT license. And, I think a lot of folks don't even put much time on thinking about what license I should, use for my project. Let's say I'm spending a lot of time and I'm just using MIT. That might not be the correct license to use. So, how do you pick a framework? Like how you should suggest someone, let's say, is working on their own open source project, how should they pick a license, like what should be a good framework for them to pick a license? Because I'm sure a lot of folks is neglecting this part. Anyone can start, or I would just pick a name. Ronit, you can start for this question.
Definitely. Basically, it totally depends on the purpose, right? For example, even if some college guy is like trying to create a project and push it to GitHub, they are basically making it open source. Like anyone can contribute to it, right? So if they are thinking about having it like as a startup idea or something like that, so it might be a different use case. And if it might be like owned by some other company or stuff, like that might be a different use case. So it totally depends upon the use case. And also, like as I think Priyankar already mentioned that you can all like use MIT if you're starting with an open source project or a hobby project, like a college student would do usually. So that is the way, like the simplest way to go for it. But some like if someone is getting into the amateur or the veteran level, then they should definitely check out like what are the license types. In general, those are being maintained by the maintainers itself. We like as contributors, we don't put much effort or much attention to it. To be very honest, I haven't put enough attention to it. I would be learning more from the others who what they think about it. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah. So, Gunj, you want to share something around, how you pick your licenses for your open source project if you're starting a new one?
Yeah, sure. So, what I would think in this matter is what really depends at uh, how are you starting the project? Is it just an college free time open source project that you are starting, or you are starting something really big and you have a clear, definite plan on how you want to take it forward? I mean, if you are just starting it for some time pass or just for to learning and stuff, you can go with MIT license as such. But I mean, you should be really selective for some of the reasons you can think of, like, fine, I want this project to be used by other open source developers, but I don't want organizations to use it in their proprietary products. So that's the point where you need to be selective and use something like GNU or a similar license. So what I would say is that depends on your specific project, and yeah, you just need to have some bit of research on most of the licenses at first.
Awesome. So, next up, I would go to Tapas if you want to share some tips for maintainers or, project starters.
Yeah, I think we covered that point, right? Like when we're starting a project, like a hobby project, college project, and we have a mindset of, anyone looking into our code, even lifting it, using for their own use, MIT and all these things works. One thing we need to understand is like we discussed about the free thing, right? So of course, source code is good. Look, it's free to look into, but there are a lot of projects and products are available today out of open source code base, which are priced, right? You have to do premium plan, this plan, that plan, because those are priced, right? And you notice the kind of licenses that those code repositories are having. I'm sure that most of them won't be having MIT, right? So they will have their own safeguard. Even I have a startup, and if I am putting certain things on open source, based on which there is a possibility that I have some sellability of a product, I won't put it as MIT. So Gunj pointed out correctly that some self-study is very much required, right? If you don't understand, go for mentorship. A quick mentorship by someone who can educate you on the different licensing term. There are website, Priyanka shared one. So yeah, it's very important topic that we understand the proper licensing for our project based on the use case and the need.
Awesome. So, Swastik, you have something to add to it?
I think choosing our license is like, as suggested Priyankal Pal, there's a website from OSI on how to choose your license. There's a guide. I have added a link in the comment sections. And I think for hobby projects, MIT license is enough. If you are going for more advanced licenses, you will have to maybe consider a lawyer for proprietary stuff who can help you and guide you with this, because this is more related to policies. So if you want your to be used of proprietary places, I think there is one way, BSD or license, BSL, business license. You will have to adopt such kind of license according to your plan. So for basic ones, you have to can go with MIT. For rest, you might be some other licenses as said by Priyanka Pal. I think the website would be enough to guide you. I am not very much into depth for business licenses.
Okay. No worries. Yeah. Santosh, you want to add something to it, or we can move to the next question?
Nothing much. I mean, look, developers are not lawyers. So if you are planning for some license, and consult a lawyer if you have some long-term vision.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. So, yeah. So I guess we have covered this part. Okay. Yeah, Gunj, go ahead.
Yeah, in terms of licenses, I just had a small thing to share of my past experience. So I contribute mostly to standard lib, which is Apache licensed. And once we had to add fast Fourier transforms implementations into a standard lib, and things where licenses come really important into picture is things like this, where you have to implement one such feature from one particular language to your particular library. So what we wanted to implement a similar kind of structure in our thing, that was GPL licensed. So we couldn't go forward with that as we were Apache. So that's where you need to be selective, because if you are selecting something, you also need to see the dependencies your project will go on. So not all licenses work with all licenses. So that's what also needs to be decided.
Okay, that's a good point. Thanks for adding it, Gunj. So yeah, we have discussed like what is open source and what are the basic things there. So now let's see what is there for the contributors. Why should I contribute? Yeah, since we are always telling, hey, start contributing to open source. Yeah, it will help this. It will you might get some money, you might get some job, you might get swag. So what should I aim for if I'm contributing to open source, or what is there for me? Anyone, you can start the discussion, or I can start with Swastik if you want to share, like, what is there for the contributors?
Okay, sure. So I think the first of all is that you get to learn to make production code. As before getting started as a job, you get to learn about tools. How do you use those tools in production, and how the code works in production. For my first experience, I didn't know what get and make was. I used to Google around and see to get it faster structuring, because I didn't know the tools at all. I didn't have the knowledge. So I was using some tutorial get and make tutorial to even to write make I had to see a tutorial. Then I due to which I learned the importance of those tools. Then I also learned the community and the vibe and the culture. The vibe and the culture help us to understand the diversity of the people. Alongside code, you also get to make a lot of new people, and the culture, and you get to learn a lot of culture with code. And the code you write is also being used by impact by millions of people. Whatever you do is being seen and it works to everyone. And one change can change the whole ecosystem. I think that's why one should contribute to open source. And you also get a lot of monetary benefits if you are consistent and you are dedicated enough. Job can, because I think in open source, job and stuff can help you, but it has to be long term. Like people must see your efforts and they will only help you. That's all I can say.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Yeah, we should not aim for the job, I would say. Probably just start with just your learning purpose, then start to contribute to that project that might lead to something you don't even know right now. Awesome. So next, Santosh, I would like to go to you. You want to share what is there for the contributors?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of things. I think the first and most important thing which Swastik mentioned already was learning, right? Because when I started contributing to open source, I was like working in tech for more than 10 years, 10, 11 years, I think. But when I started contributing, I came to know about things which I probably never used, right? I mean, I became better at Git, probably became better at the technology I use, uh, maybe interacting with people, right, from different cultures. And of course, it gave a few more things apart from knowledge and everything. Of course, it gave me visibility in the community, right? So people started recognizing, oh, this guy does something, that he's in the open source, he's doing something. And which helps in future, like maybe your next manager is somewhere on the internet and he's looking at you and saying, hey, this guy is great, let's hire him. That's secondary. I think that is something which of course starts after you start investing in yourself. But yeah, I mean, I wrote like my entire journey, it's on the internet. I mean, if you're interested, like how open source changed my life, of course it's there on free code camp as well. And yeah, that's enough from my, but that's it from my side.
Awesome. That's a lovely one. So next, Gunj, you want to share your experience with this?
Yeah, definitely. So, what I would love to share here is that in terms of college students, most of the students who are in college, they, I would say, not based out of interest, they start contributing to open source. There really needs to be some kind of motivation that they want to chase. Suppose some college students might think of it like, yeah, I'll start contributing to open source because of Hacktoberfest. I'll do Hacktoberfest. I'll get certification swags. I can flex it with others. Or even if you want a bigger picture, some college guy might think that, yeah, I'll start open source. I want to contribute to GSOC because of the money involved, if they think like that. But that is really an honest opinion about how students think this ways. And maybe that's really nice as well. But what you should stick to if you're a college student is once GSOC is done or once Hacktoberfest is done, you shouldn't think like, okay, my part is done and now I need to focus on my other journey. No, try to be a part of community even throughout the GSOC or Hacktoberfest, whichever you're targeting. And in that way, you will get dwindled with the open source community for a long term. And that's how you start building a reputation among your organization and in general among the whole open source community. You can, after you're done with contributions, if you have been there for a long time, you can start reviewing PRs. You can try being a maintainer, and for future years, you can also try being a mentor as well. So that's where you should take the whole journey. As starting point can be some kind of motivation, money, fame, something, but then you should really stick to it if it's interesting to you.
Awesome. Yeah, just really good point. Gunji, you mentioned that this open source is not only about October. It is beyond that. It is all over the year. You should contribute whenever you get time, and yeah, it always helps you in some other way. So, Ronit, you want to share something around your experience, as contributor and also a maintainer. What do you think? What it gives to a contributor who is starting out?
Yeah, sure. First of all, like many people are like right now, like getting misled by open source to be a new field or something, which first of all should be abolished. Like I totally, my blood boils when I hear terms like CP versus open source, this and that, and this is nothing like that sort. Okay. So the main point is that if someone really wants to contribute, they should contribute. It's not like by open source कर लो. This shouldn't be a thing. Okay. So first of all, second of all is that if you are contributing to some project, you should really be passionate about that project. Don't just go for an issue and just comment, assign me this and that. Like I have seen, like I've been like maintaining our GSOC project, and like it's actually like very frustrating if you are actually seeing through those spam PRs and stuff, and they are always like people who are more interested about swags and additional benefits. Like we all saw that Hacktoberfest PRs were much lower when they started planting trees instead of sending those t-shirts. So like this is the problem here right now. And like the day when they will actually understand that open source is actually about getting out of that kind of comfort zone which we are in, that day we will be actually learning about open source and how we actually impact the coding culture overall. Yeah, I know I'm going a bit off topic of the question, but yeah, I think this is the thought process about it from my end. Like you will get recognition if you are really good at open source at some point of time. You will eventually get passes for conferences. You will get to travel the world. You will get to do stuff which like the all the panelists are doing already. So yeah, I don't think that we should market it like do this so that you will get that. Do this for the love of it. Don't do it for getting those monetary benefits or stuff. If you get those monetary benefits, if you like manage to crack that job, well and good. If you don't, then please keep on contributing for the love of it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. That's a really great point. Over to you, Tapas. You want to share your thoughts?
Yeah, I think most of the things have discussed, like why you should contribute. I just want to add one more point is like, see, in most of the cases, it's not like your office culture, right? Where you know the individual you are working with. You probably, when you're in open source, you are working with someone whom you don't know, probably never met in your life, or probably will not meet in your life after 2 years or 3 years. It's like, so if you can survive in an environment like this, like where things are not only remote, but it's like people are not mingling with everyone so closely. They are just, doing some contribution, going away from one project to another project. I guess you're suitable for any kind of environment, in my opinion, right? So when I screen resume and I see that someone have really contributed on some good project, good contribution, that's very important. Ronit was talking about. Uh, I love that guy. I mean, I want to have that discussion like, what are the challenges that you have faced, right? Again, guys, I'm not marketing job through open source here. There are other people for that already. So I'm just saying that there is a possibility that it might change your career positively because someone who is in the open source know the value of it, that what you are doing being there. So that's why your contribution matters only when you make valuable contribution. That's the key point over there, right? Yeah, that's wanted to add that. Arindam.
Yeah, that's a really important point. Yeah, I mean, again, we are not, trying to promote that do contribute to open source to get a job. There is no guarantee. There is no, hard-coded thing there. It might help, but it again, the word might is there. So don't take anything, written in the stone. So yeah, now comes to the very important point, the mindset, right? Gunja was already talking about for a student, the mindset is okay, I will do 4 contribution to my friend's repo or something else, and I will get a t-shirt, and then I will just show that off to my friends and they will get FOMO and jealousy, right? So it's really important that as we are talking about open source Hacktoberfest, we should set the mindset that okay, if you're contributing to open source, this should be the mindset behind that, not just a t-shirt or not just a small monetary benefit, right? So I would love to, start with Gunj as he brought up this topic. So feel free to, share your thought about what should be the correct mindset for new contributors.
Yeah, so I think as Tapas already mentioned, the mindset should not be about something regarding the cracking culture that has been for these days. I cracked GSOC, I cracked open source, I cracked XYZ. It's not something that you crack. It's like before starting itself, you should feel like, yes, I am contributing to it based on my own interests, based on my own free time, and I don't expect anything from it in return. You have to be selfless, and that selflessness only comes out when you are contributing with your own interests. So, I mean, if you are getting a t-shirt, if you are getting money, that's just a byproduct. Just keep it aside, and that interest would only stick to you for a long term if the project that you are contributing to is totally coming out of pure love, not about for some monetary or t-shirts or something, things like that. So that's where one more important point comes with. Before starting, select a project that really excites you, or really, you can match with the community, or if not, just pick a project that you are comfortable with, because you have to be with it for the long term. You don't have to do your work and just leave. So
Yep.
that's what the whole difference comes.
Awesome. Really great point, Gunj. Swastik, you want to add something to it?
I think the right projects that you find during Hacktoberfest might be the ones you find in GitHub trending section, because a lot of stars engagements are happening in October and they also have a Hacktoberfest tag or something. I think that's where you can start contributing and taking a look at the project. After forking the project, I think you should make it and also break the project to understand the internals. I think it's easy to break something than to make it. I think that's the approach that I took for my first project, open source project that was a Vim programming language during Hacktoberfest.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. Also, Tapas, you want to share about it? I would just tweak a question a bit because yeah, you already touched upon that point. So yeah, so when I'm contributing, so what should be the approach I would take? Let's say I'm taking a look at a project. Should I start from a very big project like React, or at a very big project like Next.js, or I should start with my friend's project and then go forward to Next.js or big projects like React, something like that?
Okay, so I think the answer that I'll give is not very straightforward. I mean, I don't know how to say like it depends, but what I'll say is like, see, the whole idea of doing an open source is not charity. Okay, so we are saying that it's free. Okay, we should have a good mindset and all that, but still, it's not a charity. There is something in return that we're also talking about. The number one return for me is upskilling. In office, I'm getting, or in my job, I'm getting a particular technology that my project require. The moment I go to my manager and say, hey, Angular hatao, sorry Santosh bhai, React use karo. my manager is going to kill me. You cannot do that, right? But I am aspiring to work on React. So now what I can do, my hands are itching. I can go to GitHub Explore. I can do a quick search about React. I find bunch of open source project over there. I try to figure out, oh, this is the project look like. Based on my current skill set, it looks good to get started. So I would get started. So I think most of the folks who have a right mindset of upskilling themselves, they would go in that way. There are other folks who are starting something by themselves. Maybe their friend together for some kind of project together or some kind of product together. They might think about making it open source in a later point in time. They can also do this, but it has to start with an objective, right? And once that objective is there, that okay, I want to grow in my skill, I want to grow in limelight. Again, taking from Gunj, that what he spoke absolutely right about the college culture and everything. But one thing I would like to say is like, if you are successfully able to contribute to an open source and if you think there is a valued contribution, please brag about it, because not many are doing this. That's the differentiation that all need to understand. You are not doing for that swag, you are not doing for all those crappy thing, but you have done something. Please brag about it. So if I am somebody who is looking for it, like I'll make a contribution, I'll tell the world that hey, I have done this. There is no harm in doing that. I know all of us have done this sometime in our life, or been doing this, or will be doing this, right? So my thought process, Arindam, is exactly like that. Is like I will start with a purpose and then I'll see how my drive goes along the line.
Awesome. Santosh, since the mention of Angular is also there, let's say if someone is trying to contribute to some repos and a bit unfamiliar with Angular, or let's say they're coming from other background, so how should they start approaching, contributing to open source or any project? Would love to know from you.
You need to understand, like, I think someone already mentioned during the panel discussion that remember, you don't have to contribute to open source, right? I mean, why? Just ask yourself why you're contributing to open source, right? I mean, and why you need to. You can just happily just use this technology, right? And you can just talk about it, and you don't need to like really go ahead and contribute to a code base. You can do like a lot of stuff. Go ahead and create content, go ahead and write blog posts about it. Absolutely, yeah. Even talking about the technology is like helping them. But all this bhaiya and ditis, they have made this term very or very famous that okay, you should go and contribute to a repository. That's what contribution is. That's wrong. I think the mindset of this generation has been what you can say bugged, right? By giving this wrong definition of open source or open source contribution. So I think as Tapas mentioned, of course, you should brag about it, but the people who are actually not doing the code contribution is also not bragging about it, right? They are like, okay, I'm doing it, but yeah, I'm not talking about it. So I think those people needs to do it more. So that's how probably we will be able to see change this mindset that okay, I need to go ahead and create a PR on the repository. That's how I became an open source contributor. So I think the whole concept is somehow got gamified by all these YouTubers who just are there for maybe views.
Awesome. Yeah. So, really good point by, Santosh. So, I just want to mention one other point is just if you're contributing to something, try to find that, okay, what value this PR is adding to the repo, or what, let's say it could be a GitHub issue as well that can also help. Let's say you don't understand how to fix that, but you can just create that, okay, I think this is the issue I faced and this could be improved, right? And there could be some more folks who can then jump in and start contributing to that and eventually help the project to grow. So I guess that should be another way you can contribute. And yeah, again, don't just go to any other repo and just update the readme with your name. That's a really bad way of contributing. And we all know that the incident happened last year as well, and again we have seen some lot of spam PRs coming to all these GitHub repos. So it is really high time, before you make a PR, just think that, okay, is it actually adding some value, or is adding your name to the readme does contribute something to the community or not? So that will be I guess a good parameter to think about before you start creating those PRs, and it will it will help the maintainers of the big projects to get some relief, right? So now talking about the spam peers, let's have the maintainers perspective on this. So a lot of you are maintainers of open source projects, and during Hacktober things may go very hectic. So how do you manage as a maintainer of open source project? I would love to start from Ronit, since you touched based upon this part before.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like I was just reading the chat. I just couldn't follow you up with the question. Just can you just go again?
Yeah, so we have discussed a lot about the spam PRs, and
Yeah,
Hacktoberfest
yeah.
is a peak time of
Oh,
that. So
okay.
as a maintainer, how is managing, how you are managing these spam PRs and keeping your time in a better way?
Oh man, this actually it's a huge headache for us. Like quite literally, there is no alternative than manually reviewing them. So, you just need to I have seen such people who actually create a very catchy kind of headline, right? And within that, I have seen that folks have committed with a hello world message on it. And some just write their own name on some Node.js package. Like I've seen people doing this type of things. So I'm not sure if we have good AI tools to manage or to classify those. But yeah, as of now, I have been doing this manually, and it's a huge headache for us. And I really request everyone, please don't do it. It's actually, I just I am like spellbound right now. I feel very very angry, you know. Like it actually I just can't swear over here. That's why, but it's actually very painful for us.
Yes, we can feel that, and in ReactPlay as well. In our recent repo, we also got some small like not small, like those PR just spam, like okay, add a number addition or something like those kind of changes. And Yeah, so that's I mean, I would love
This
Tapas if you
won't
can
get
share this.
resolved.
Yeah.
This won't get resolved until and unless we push open source rather than we inspire open source, like through open source. Till now, which we have been seeing over YouTube and stuff, like it's been glorified. You do this, you get something. Okay. We have also seen like huge names talking about open source, and they have actually created this culture, and we can't help the scenario right now. Like even if I would be very honest with you guys, like recently we were having there are multiple GSOC mentors over here, I think. So they might be familiar with it. So we have an email thread for the GSOC mentors, right? And we were seeing few people who are actually kind of being very rude towards certain maintainers. I won't take the names, obviously. So, but there were certain scenarios where we were being like, in mostly in India, we were being flagged by certain community that, hey, they are very rude and they should behave themselves. But these are the scenarios which we have seen, and we were having a discussion, and we will be having a discussion. I'll be soon in the GSOC Mentor Summit, I think it's on 21st. I'll be leaving for Munich. So over there be having a small discussion about the same, like what if we don't continue with India anymore. Like these are like a few things which we are actually hearing, like which is very sad for us. Like even if we are not at fault, there might be a case that we can get a regional ban for these things.
Yeah.
So
I think
we actually don't want this to happen.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Swastik is saying something.
I'm suggesting that
Yeah.
we can decrease the amount to a significant for power purchase parity. We can reduce the amount a little, I guess, to lower the audience spam.
I don't think that would help, man, because it's the mindset which we have already developed in the crowd, and it's very sad to see people actually having those type of sentiments that we shouldn't allow certain parts of the world. So this is the scenario, and this is very sad for us as well. Like being a mentor, in fact, we are getting threatened, right? My inboxes were filled with certain threats like what do you think of yourself, and why are you mentoring for this org if you can't accept my proposal. So these are things which I can't talk about in public, but this has happened.
I know,
Okay, to be very honest.
a lot of people.
Yeah, we have seen some, posts on LinkedIn as well. Last year, I guess some folks on the Layer 5 community as well, I guess, did some
Yes.
threat
Yeah.
messages and stuffs. So yeah, it is, we highly discourage people to do these kind of things because yeah, maintainers also has a work to do. They also have their lives. So, don't just, go at them and, say these things. It's really hard for them as well to manage this kind of big projects, and it takes a lot of effort. So whenever you're trying to contribute to it, be a bit more sensible while contributing. Yes, we do encourage everyone to contribute, but yeah, again, contribute in a meaningful way. That should be the message from our community as well. So yeah, Tapas, you want to share your experience with the spam peers?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I hate them like anybody else. I think that this is a culture that got built up by a lot of influential folks, right? I call them as influencer, not like influencers. So they actually started talking in a way, and they misguided a lot of folks. And that culture kind of started spreading in so rapid way that even we are speaking over here, right? Our voice, I don't know, like when it is going to reach to those folks, like who are doing this, right? So spam PR is one thing. Second is like at least have some respect about the maintainers, right? Is mail, midnight SMS, midnight WhatsApp, sometime calls. Just wait for man 4 hours. We'll get up in the morning and merge your PR. Just wait for 4 hours. And where are you after October if you're that passionate, right? So I want to ask these questions. I mean, some of you probably hearing me who have sent me WhatsApp at 2 o'clock in the early morning. to merge your PR. I'm sorry about it, but I want to teach you the lesson that that's not the way that you should be behaving, right? At least in the arena of open source, right? You should have that courtesy that you know how to behave. So this is a very basic ground, like how to behave, right? And if someone is maintaining a project, that person is handling probably hundreds like you, and think about that person, that the person is having their personal life, they're giving it for free. So some empathy is, you know, expected, is very very basic expectation, right? So spam peer is not the only problem. In what I have seen in last 3 to 4 years is like spam peer is my 20% of the problem. My 80% problem is spam people, right? They just be there, and they be there for certain kind of expectation, which is not right.
Yeah, and that's really important because yeah, I guess all of the maintainers have, even if it is a Hacktoberfest or GSOC, I guess the GSOC threats are a bit higher level because yeah, it gets bit more, on the
Yeah, it
price.
gets a lot personal, man. And the,
Yeah.
whatever we have seen recently on LinkedIn, right? The kind of language they use is like, and it's so Indian. That language, that is what hurt me more, right? Even you are giving, I mean, you're giving slang, and it's like so Indian. I mean, it's like there also put a culture, like where are you coming from?
Yeah. And if there's a bad part of this is, when this covered on the other side of the world, they just feel that, okay, they just, generalize sometimes. I would
Yeah.
not say always, but they just generalize, yeah, Indian peers are like this. And that actually hurts, when you are a contributor who is trying to, add something meaningful, and you're also getting categorized that, okay, they're Indians, these are the folks who made those, 700 spam peers to the Express.js repo, right? So
Yep.
that is a, really, bad feeling for those who are actually trying to contribute on a meaningful way. Yeah, Ronit, you was trying to say something, I guess.
No, like I would have said the same thing as Tapas said. Like it's like irritating at sometimes, and it like actually what's the problem is that like the contributors are sinking and they are taking us down as well. Like we individually we represent a culture, right? And being like from a certain part of the world, we are being dragged down as well for these type of like rude behavior. So it's really, at times I get too much sad about it, but I also know that we can't help it if the mindset is not changed. Like if you look into the dynamics of open source, maybe 3 to 4 years back, or maybe post pandemic, at that point of time, it was much better.
Yeah.
I would say that I was not much active that time, but I could at least sense that it was a like place or ecosystem for sensible people. But now it's 80% of trash and 20% of real talk. That's what I see.
I want to add on this. I agree
Yeah,
with Ronit
sure.
here. I started by contributing in 2019. 2019 was a time and place where the open source ecosystem was healthy and well going. After the COVID, a lot of people became influencers and started to post videos. I think since then it has become a downhill, and recently it has become too much uncontrollable. Like I've been trying to suppress, I've called a lot of people out that this is not right, but they don't listen. I've done a lot on that on Twitter. I guess you folks must be following and seen that I've called out a lot of folks that you should not do this, but they still don't listen to me because I'm just an individual person in the end. I have no power to say anything, but I just do give notices to people. But they're still, despite doing that, as a country and as a community, this also impacts us, and it also impacts our opportunities as well. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna get be respected if I go outside India. But I would respect it to, equally or not. I'm not sure about that because of the biases.
I would love to add something. I know I'm taking a lot of time, but I'll just like share one incident, right? So there was one guy who was contributing to our organization, and we suddenly noticed one new trend. Okay, we were scrolling LinkedIn and like genuinely we just scroll LinkedIn and Twitter like regularly, right? So I was just scrolling, and suddenly I saw a post on a specific college or something like a coaching institute where they are like having huge billboards of some guy and that institute, and like this person has cracked Google Summer of Code with a package of this. Okay, this was the like entire thing. Okay, and it was like quite huge, and this particular poster was uh, everywhere in India, like quite like in Pune, Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, everywhere, literally everywhere. Okay, and like I was just scrolling and I was just enjoying those comment section. Like we usually do that, right? And suddenly, like while scrolling, I just saw the very public I'm actually mentoring, right? He was on the poster and the huge one, okay. And I took a screenshot of it. I sent it to him. Okay, so he was like, "I'm so sorry. I know it might be hurting the sentiments of the mentors and stuff." I'm like, no, this is hilarious, man. It's not hurting our sentiments. This is totally nonsense. Okay, and then that guy was like, he said that there's another like story behind it. Okay, what they are actually doing is mostly, I don't know if he has also done the same thing or maybe he's lying, I don't know. Okay, but what he said, it was an internal news that like they have hired few people, okay, from the Google Summer of Code past contributor list or something, and they are actually creating those proposals for them. Actually the proposals are being created by past GSOCers, okay, and they are charging the money which you get for the GSOC program. So you are like, what you get is the certificate that hey, you are doing GSOC, that's it. And the proposal is being written by someone else, and the code is partially written by you and partially written by that guy who has written the proposal for you. That's why that very organization, like the college or something, whatever, I don't call those things college. Those are like petty businesses. So they managed to get 10 or 12 folks into GSOC like that. And they marketed about it that, hey, we have 20, 15 GSOCers from our institute. Come to us. We will teach you how to contribute to open source. Like, man, it's crazy. Like the fact that I know end to end the process, like I was blown away. Okay, and this is the fact that he was attached to that institute. That's why I couldn't post it online. I just kept it to myself. But given that I am having this platform to share it with everyone, so this was the case, which is hilarious, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this is bad. Again, I also think that okay, these are those, shady marketing strategies that I
Yes.
mean, some of the it takes, new it takes, and I will not take any names, but yeah, we all know, everyone is taking, those shiny banners and the prize money, because yeah, everyone knows the algorithm, right? What people want to see. They don't want to see probably that okay, I will get to learn how to code well, how to code in a production, but they will first see that okay, I will get this much money, and that will bring some more attention or more people to help them in grow. But yeah, again, that's a really bad way of using my open source, so yeah, I guess we really touched on this part. But yeah, again, just want to final thoughts on this part, like how us as not non-influencers, or we can just call us educators in some way. So those who have some community or maintainers, how should we send the message to our community that okay, this should not be normalized, that you contribute and this pay someone to do the code for you or do something. I mean, it is better to use probably AI tools rather than paying someone to code for you, right? So we can again break things, as Swastik mentioned, you use AI tools, you break things, then you fix that for next 10 hours, but in the end you will learn something from that, right? So I guess that should be a good way. But I would love to know, starting from Gunj, you can share like okay, how we should share the message to the community.
Yeah, I mean, talking about spammy PRs and spammy people, and the spammy mindset in overall, what the message should be like You don't need to, there can be again a few instances. Suppose if you have opened up a PR and if it's not reviewed yet, you don't need to ping the reviewer every 2 hours. Hey, please reply, please review, please see. No, that should not be done. And there are a couple of more things, such as, suppose we also see the culture of, AI generated crap being pushed. Most of the people, what they tend to do is, what they'll do, they just copy the issue text, paste it to chat GPT, generate the code, push it mindlessly. Man, I mean, the code that you have just pushed, that doesn't even make any sense. Just, I mean, even not even code, I would say. If suppose there's a reviewer comments, hey, this thing you're doing wrong, you need to change this and you need to change this to this. I mean, the reply is like, hey, I'm excited to share that I have now changed this to this as your suggestions. I would love to make any further changes. I mean, this all needs to be, stopped. And this all sense of clarity in your brain will eventually only come after you continue in this open source field. I mean, you really need to spend that time. You really need to spend talking to people who are already doing this, and then you need to learn that the good and bad habits that are learned in childhood, you need to learn that in the open source field as well. So that's the important thing, because we are representing the whole nation as a whole in the end. So we should be mindful of that.
Awesome. Next, Tapas, you want to add something to it?
Yeah, I saw that how Gunj was controlling his emotion while giving the answer. Yeah, it happens. It happens. So yeah, my suggestion would be is to kind of tell them that don't look into it from the eyes of somebody else, right? Don't just follow like what exactly others are saying. You probably can go back and check the background of the folks who are actually selling things. Maybe they want to sell course, right? And they want to bring open source at the front of it because a buzzword, and it's around September, October, November. You won't find them speaking about open source beyond these 3 months. Yeah, because the course sale will be very high, on that particular time. So there are intentions that people come up with. This is business. It's fine for them, but you as an individual, you should have your own mindset to like what to listen to and what not to listen to. That basic education should be there. So my thing would be is like, see, if you're doing something of this spamming, first of all, your things are not going to get accepted. So it's a nowhere is a gain for you. Please understand. It's a loss for you. And you cannot contribute to any of the code base without your GitHub account. Correct? So it means that you are somewhat identified. So if I have to identify this person who is spamming, I can actually blacklist that person on my mind from their GitHub, right? This person is GitHub. From GitHub, I can go to the person's LinkedIn account. I can go to all the social footprint, and I can figure out like who is this person was. So that person is completely blacklisted in my mind, blacklisted in my entire references. Possible, right? So why do you want to do that harm to yourself for free? Don't do that. Now turn it other way. Try to do some valuable contribution. If you don't know, ask the other contributors, ask the maintainers. There are a lot of friendly communities like what we have, right? And there are many others who are going to help you to learn. And that's you are getting for free, right? So which one you want to go for? This answer is very, very straightforward in this case, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Swastik or Anit, you want to add anything to it? Okay. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean, we have almost covered all these points, but yeah, I just want to mention this point that yeah, you should not, do this harm as Tapas mentioned, and probably, also be a bit more empathetic while, working in open source, because yes, there are some, good practices that we can also, touch base upon, as we are talking about, like, okay, since, you are, let's say you are joining some communities of that, open source project, don't just always tag them, and just you can write message that hey, I have made this PR, but at least wait for some time, that okay, because there are some people that might not be in your time zone. It is late night for them, and you are just pinging them, and it is actually it's a bit annoying for them as well, right? So but a good
Yeah.
thing I can suggest from my experience is you can at least wait for 48 hours, then at least if you don't see any, or you can count it like 72 hours or more, and if you still don't see any responses, at least a review or any comments on that, you can just politely mention that, hey, I was trying to contribute to this and I made a PR. You can skip the tagging part. You can just in general mention that would love to have some feedbacks or something like that. So that might help. Probably that person is not available. He or she might be in leave or in a vacation, but another person from the community might go there and help you to contribute to it. And that actually helped me. Just one incident I would love to share is I was contributing to Next.js, and the PR almost took 2 months. I mean, I guess more than 2 months to actually get accepted. And I had at least 40, 60 times the test failing, and I was not able to understand such a massive repo. I don't understood, okay, which part is breaking, because because yeah, of course my code was not that good. So I essentially had to take help from their community. I just posted on their community channel that, hey, I'm trying to work on this fix, but all the time locally it is running, but it is not getting the test pass. So how should I approach this? Then someone from the community who is not even a maintainer, he just came up and he just jumped on a call with me, and then he taught me that, okay, see, these are the things you need to make sense. Okay, this is why the lint is failing. Then I thought, okay, this is how I should approach the next time before I make a PR, right? So that has helped me a lot. So what I would suggest is, be a bit more polite, be a bit more patient, and try to, ask in the public channels, and there will be someone, generous, who will, find you and, guide you on that. So yeah, Ronit, you were saying something?
Yeah. Just one thing to touch upon, that is, we should just have a common sense to be in like the open source community. We don't need a code of conduct. We don't need to read the code of conduct to know how we should behave in public, right? So like at times we are just missing out on basic etiquettes. That's what I think. And respecting each other's time, respecting each other's boundaries, and also like the professional conversation which we should have should be sober enough. So yeah, I think that is it. Like we don't need a code of conduct to convey those messages. These are very basic stuffs we should maintain.
Awesome. So yeah, enough, a lot of discussions about what should contributor do. Now let's switch a discussion bit towards how we can make open source sustainable, right? Because a lot of folks are, putting their time, their free time, and a lot of private or proprietary projects use a lot of open source tool. But I mean, I've seen a lot of companies. I will not name them, but yeah, they don't give that much on the open source community, but they are using a lot of those open source tools. So what do you think, how should those companies or corporates who are earning money and they are profitable, how should they also support the tools, or just the tools they are using, or how should they actually contribute to the open source community to make it more sustainable for the longer term? I would love to start from Tapas.
Okay, so yeah, it's a great question. Now, they should versus what they are doing is a completely two different aspects. I mean, if you talk about should, yeah, they should definitely, because if you are using a library which is open source and is given to you for free, and you're using that library to build a solution that your customers are paying you in dollars, yeah, you should do something about it, right? Now, what is that something? I think in some cases, the minimalistic shout out to that maintainer of that library also don't happen. Even there is no mention of okay, because of your this library, my this particular product is running. That kind of shout out itself don't happen. So which is really bad. Forget about the monetary aspect of it. But at the other side of it, there are a few who think about sponsoring those maintainers. They sponsor them, either on GitHub or somewhere else, or they try to see like, okay, this is an open source project, but it's inclusively should be for my particular product or revenue generation. Can I just buy it out? Can I make it like closed source project for my own company? There are various ways that people actually come to it. Now, it is up to the maintainers. Like if such kind of things are coming, like whether to accept, whether to say yes, no. But I would say like wherever a maintainer is trying to generate any kind of revenue, any kind of monetizations through sponsorship or anything else, that's the probably the correct kick for that entire open source community, because it is not just that the maintainer is getting it right. It's a bunch of contributors who are true contributors are kind of working for that particular code base to make stand. You can do something about them, you can do certain events, you can give something to the contributors back. So there are a lot of things are there actually depending on it, but very unfortunate, like especially the giant, you know, corporates, they don't even value it, right? Forget about mentioning. No value is a zero value. It's there are things like there was a frustrated uh, contributor who knowingly injected something really wrong into the library that was used by millions, and that guy openly told that, okay, I'm doing it in the Reddit, right? So they did it because it was the frustration level was to that extent. And what it takes to just to at least give a shout out or do something monetary to that person, like, because your work, using their hard earned time, work for your own benefit, but you don't do it. So this is bad, I would say. I don't know like what will change it, but if I am in their shoe, I will be absolutely frustrated by looking into like this is happening. And if I am in that corporate shoe which is using any open source, I would definitely give a shout out. Just to end this one, very recently I used a library that someone has created for say simple library, like you have a big name for Indians, especially in the South India. If I go, it's like very big name. Now that big name, every time you do like shortening the name, doing the truncation and all is very difficult. So created a beautiful library. You pass a big name, it will make the name short, and you can use it. And I used it in one of the product that we are doing. I went back, I given a shout out to that person, did a this buy my coffee, very small amount, buy my coffee thing. He was like so happy, I mean, after getting this, and so motivated, like, okay, going to fix the issues and everything for me, right? So it just takes $5 maybe to do these things done, but is that going to be life changing moment for someone? I don't know why they don't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this should be, this should be a culture. But yeah, I would just also want to mention that there are some companies that are actually creating some open source funds for, some of these projects. I mean, like encouraging some new contributors or some, libraries that is powering them. But yeah, we should do some more as well. Just I'm in a quick shout out to Vercel. I mean, they have their open source program every year. They accepts a lot of open source, and I know one of my friends who got into a program like that. And the good thing they also give is not only the money, they also give the chance to talk to the engineering team and actually have a mentorship to the open source contributors. And I feel that is more valuable part than the money part as well. So yeah. Yeah, Swastik or Gunj, want to add anything to this discussion of how we can help the projects that we are using in a company level or stuffs?
Yeah, I mean, the most basic thing you can do is, as an organization, even if you are not able to pay the contributors or give any benefit to the contributors individually, because your argument might be like they are very scattered or we can't pick each one of them. You can at least do is to pay the maintainers or give some benefits to the maintainers, because if as a maintainer I'm getting some benefits, if I'm getting my free time respected while working on open source, I would pass on those benefits as my time to the contributor. So suppose if I'm getting paid by someone to work on my open source project, I would definitely love to review 2 or 3 more PRs each day, because and I would definitely love to explain stuff to a lot more new contributors than I might do if I'm doing it just for free. So that's one thing. And one more thing is like that, even if you don't want to pay directly to any open source organization for something that you are using, what you can do is something like the company that I'm currently working on, which is Quonsite. What they do is they have projects from big corporations, and those big corporations, whatever open source project they are using, they pay their maintainers and their contributors to add some feature or some extra thing that they will need. So programs like this or setups like this might really help, to both to the maintainers and contributors and back to the companies in general to, make sure that this whole ecosystem thrives for longer and it just keeps on improving and getting more better and better day by day.
Awesome. Anything to add to it, Swastik?
I think corporates can help by having a grant program, as you can say. They can also establish an OSPO office, which is called Open Source Program Office, which take care of legal compliances, licenses issues, create dependencies, and also contribute to open source projects. My company has an open source program office where we contribute 3 projects which are dependent on us, and we also review projects according to the money they need. I think that's how corporates can get into it. I also was one of the contributors for OSPO book, which helps to make an OSPO office in their company.
Cool. That's awesome. So yeah, we are almost in the last part of our panel discussion. So I will bring up some questions that the audience have asked. So let me bring them up. So first is, can a working professional also take part in GSOC? Anyone?
You can, I mean, there's no limit now. Earlier, there used to be limit for that only for university tours, and now it's open for all.
Yeah. It's just that one point over here is like you have to dedicate your time completely for GSOC, right? So, I mean, if you're a working professional, you have to make sure like you have that time taken out, talk to your manager that you have to give that. Otherwise, it's a bummer. Yeah.
Awesome. The next question that I have is, if we take cal.com as an example, then the source code has been open sourced, but in the website there is a pricing section. I'm not understanding this part. So how this works? So Tapas, you want
Yeah, I
to?
think we discussed that, right?
Yeah.
The source may be open, but the licensing, if you should look into, if you open the licensing, there might be GNU, GPL kind of licenses will be there. So it means that it certainly means certain thing that you cannot really take that source directly, or you probably able to take the source, but you cannot distribute the source directly. There are different kind of meaning over there, right? So that's how the safeguard has been created, that you can look into the source code, you can contribute to it, but you cannot distribute it. The distribution is owned by the company itself, and that's the reason they have put a price tag that they wish to for selling that product.
Okay, awesome. Now, another question is about identifying the GitHub account. Is it good to start contributing other than code base? Like from few weeks, I have been contributing to a great repo, mostly about free CS resources. It's nothing technical, just editing .md files, cross-checking pre-existing resources. They are removing editing resources kind of thing. Although my PRs are getting merged and it is not that controversial, adding names, spammy PR kind of thing. So what is your opinion on this kind of contribution to these resources, repos like awesome repos or XYZ repos like that?
To be honest, I started with Awesome as well. So I used to add some C resources, so some C repos, C learning books and articles. I used to update them when I started to learn Git. I don't see a problem in that. It is you're contributing something meaningful. If it is typos, text editing, new additions, as long as it's relevant and review likes your work, I think it can be merged. It's all delightful.
Awesome. So yeah, my first contribution also was markdown contribution. So I guess all of us start from very small contribution, but yeah, again, the point here is to add some value to it. Again, if it is a small fix that adds value to the project, let's say you find something, a small issue in the docs, you can create a issue and fix that. That is also valuable. But yeah, you always have to keep in mind that okay, it should add some values to it. So I guess this question is
So one point I want to add quickly
yeah.
over there is like, I think the person who asked this question was probably a little bit confused or scared of. We are talking about this Readme update thing, right? So we are talking about pure spam where people are coming and say, adding the name of their favorite cricketer or something like that. It happens. But what you are doing is valuable because there is a part in the open source world is called documentation, and not all the projects are maintained so well with the documentation. Now you are getting into a project, you want to contribute, suddenly you don't find any way that how to set up this project. Now you spend 48 hours understanding how to set up this project, and if you create a documentation about it and ask the maintainer, he will kiss you, because this is what probably that person was missing. And for that purpose, there are a lot of contributors who are not coming and contributing to the project to solve that problem, right? So documentation is a big vital thing. If you go to even React Play, what we realized after some point in time, the React Play is bit complex to even start for contributors. And then the contributors came in, they created the documentation in different languages, and we hosted that documentation all together. So updating README is super cool as long as it is valuable.
Awesome. So there was one more question that I guess we have already answered. How can various small open source program help
Yeah.
covering the open source culture? Yeah, we have already touched base upon how these are, a great starting point for those who are, starting their contribution journey. But yeah, I guess that's almost the end of this session. And now, before we wrap it up, I would love to have one final thoughts you want to share with the community who are contributing to open source and Hacktoberfest. Just one final thought. I will start from Gunj.
Yeah, so apart from being mindful of the open source etiquettes, what one should really do is what I think is, if you're starting for Hacktoberfest or GSOC, anything, most I'll tell this from my personal experiences, where most of the people would fail is, if you have selected a repository to contribute, when they try to set it up locally, most of that's where most of the people feel like, oh, it's not running, or I'm getting some trouble, so I'll just leave it out. That's where, not only in that particular starting point, along with for a lot of time in open source, you need to stick on to the thing that you're doing, because that would only differentiate you for being a good contributor or just being a time passer or something. There is obviously a learning curve when you start out with a new repository. So that uphill that comes in the beginning, you really need to stick along with that. And the thing is that just stick on with that. Just don't leave it. Ask the community, how do I set it up, or in general, how do I solve this particular issue with good etiquettes. And definitely there are a lot of helpful people, eager to respond to if you're asking the right things. And just be mindful of this, and you should do really great. Thank you.
Arindam, I think you're on mute.
You're on mute, bro. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So Astik, your final thoughts.
I think we should respect all the maintainers who have been working to preserve the software and doing it willingly and in free time. I pray for the ones who have been working on open source software full time and they are doing it as a charity. And I think we and the people must join together to sponsor their work, because open source works on goodwill and kindness. If those factors do not exist, I don't think open source can sustain, and don't think the software industry can work and go on together. Open source needs to be sustained by government bodies, companies, individuals, colleges, everywhere. That's all.
Cool. Tapas, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts, I think, probably in one sentence is like open source is a culture, don't screw it. So, yeah, that's what I'll say.
Yeah, and I will probably conclude the final thoughts part is don't contribute for the sake of contributing. Contribute if you like it, if you find it interesting, if you want to upskill, and don't think much about the byproducts. And yeah, just keep contributing all over the year, not only in the Hacktober or the October month. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. We had a lovely discussion with the amazing panelists. And okay, we have one final question, I guess.
Okay.
How can various small open source programs hosted by clubs helps covering the OS culture? Would like to quote Hacktoberfest. Yeah, so again, I've touched base upon that. It is a good starting point to motivate people to start contributing to open source. But again, uh, one thing we need to keep in mind is, yeah, again, it's not only about Hacktober. Once you are done with the events, keep the momentum. Probably you can, at least take a look at those repos, those issues, and keep contributing all over the year. Awesome. So this was a lovely, discussion. I hope everyone learned a lot from this, and I will pass the mic on to Sulagna, so you can take this up.
Okay, no, you have already said everything that's needed to be said, and the session was amazing. Thanks to all the panelists, all the speakers for joining in and sharing your vision, insights, which were truly insightful, honest, and the true nature of open source and its culture. I think everybody has learned a lot from this session. Whoever has joined and waited till the end of this. And at the very end, I would love to thank our two community partners, React Hyderabad and ReactPlay, for supporting us throughout the session, throughout our journey. And at the very end, dhonnobad to everyone who have joined. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, keep contributing. From the City of Joy, we are signing off today. Good night, everyone, and happy coding.
Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Shubho Ratri.
Shubho Ratri.
Bye.